are they saying here? Fat man? Somebody eating too much food? That's what it sounds like to me, fat man. Looking for boxes of fudge. Where's the casino buffet? I could eat a whole turkey. That's right. Uh-huh. Yep, fat man, it sounds like to me. Fat man, fat man, fat man. Guess what? Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. This is indeed New Orleans. A Tuesday afternoon. Summer-like weather out there. It's insane. Thursday, some rain. Friday, that Coolio front will be rolling in. Looks like a nice normal late January. It's the 31st. Tomorrow will be February. It's going to be like a normal early February winter day or days weekend coming up in New Orleans. But right now, I don't know. I think we're probably like in the mid-70s if I had to guess. Yeah, 75 degrees right smack dab in the middle. I would assume humidity north of 70%. 74%. Feels like 77 degrees. Almost feels like 80 out there. Yeah, if you're going exercise, doing some work like roofing, air conditioning, landscaping, lots of agua, you're going to be perspiring. You're going to be sweating. It's like that out there. The old sidewalk, the carport, as we call them, that slick cement, it's sweating. It's perspiring right now. Wow. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. You know, I talk about New Orleans and why I love it. The culture, the history, the architecture, the music, the food, the people. The weather's one of them. The weather's one of them. Now, from Houston to Panama City, Houston to Jacksonville, Florida, it's the number one wet spot in North America. It's the most rain. From Houston to Jacksonville, Florida, about 60 inches plus of rain per year, including New Orleans, of course, right up and down the I-10 corridor. But it's also mild subtropic weather. We're like on the top of the subtropic zone. That's why Louisiana's full of marsh and swamp and that type of stuff. That type of environment wouldn't exist if you go too far north. At least a lot of the plants and flora and the like would not be existing north. It would be a different type of swamp or marsh or hardwood forest. So no, being on the northern tip of the subtropic zone is a huge key. It's one of the reasons a lot of us live down here, if we think about it or not. The weather, really good weather. It's not sunshine every day like California or Hawaii. I think San Diego gets about 10 or 12 inches of rain annually. 10 or 12 inches of rain annually. We get that on a bad flood type deluge type day. I'm not even talking hurricane. May 11th, May 3rd, whatever the date where we had ridiculous rain, we get that San Diego annual rain in a day, sometimes in Metro New Orleans, South Louisiana. Anyway, a little hot and muggy for late January, early February, but I don't know. I try to look at the glass half full, not half empty, and I don't know. I kind of embrace this kind of weather. It's like the winter in New Orleans. We get like, you know, that last year where we had that ridiculous weather where it was, you know, feels like 12, 24 degrees, 19 degrees, just kind of almost once in a lifetime type weather. Even that harsh, insane weather, like we're 500-600 miles north of where we are, you know, within 48, 72 hours, at the worst, 3-4 days, at the very worst, it's going away and we'll be back to mild weather. The same thing kind of applies in the winter when we get this crazy stuff. It's only going to be here for a few days and then we'll get back to normal. And this weekend, we should be, like I said, back to normal. Temperatures for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, high 40s in the morning. And then we might reach 60 degrees during the day. So kind of 50s, lots of 50s this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And that's what we should have in February. Friday and Saturday is supposed to be crystal clear too, like not a cloud in the sky. Keeping my fingers crossed, we have like 55, 60 degrees, cloudless sky as the next few weeks start rolling in as Mardi Gras amps up. 3 weeks from today, 21 days away. Can you believe it? Mardi Gras 2023, 3 weeks from today. You know, almost every day, definitely every few days, the city engages the clutch, downshifts to a higher level, a higher gear. It just keeps building and building and building. Yeah, you're right. What we're all about. Mardi Gras, we do it better than anywhere in the world. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of outsiders, folks from around the state, folks from around the South, the region, the country, international, rolling in for our celebration. We do it better than anyone else. So fired up for Mardi Gras 2023. I'm excited, too, to join that St. Anne Marching Club Mardi Gras Day that starts in Treme, fades over into the Marigny, the Marigny Triangle, through the French Quarter, and end up on Canal Street watching Zulu and Rex go by. And then maybe it's over to Crescent City Steaks on Broad Street. They're open Mardi Gras Day. Go get a little slab before Lent, which, you know, I'm your typical Catholic boy. I'll be eating meat during Lent. And I'm giving up spelunkering. I do a lot of that in South Louisiana, spelunkering. Oh, boy. 21 days till Mardi Gras. 22 days until the NoLatoya.org, that recall effort, the signature part of it. 22 days left. Sign the recall already. What are you waiting for? It doesn't recall the mayor. It sets up a special election where New Orleans voters will go into the booth and decide to either keep the mayor or oust the mayor. And I think clearly from the mayor's actions, from the junkets to the Pontalba, the federal investigations, on and on and on, she's earned a third election. She deserves a third election. She'll get to tout for a few weeks what she's done, the positives. You can either, buy into that or not. Maybe you're against her and that she'll change your mind and you'll vote for her to stay in office. Or what appears to be the case, J.P. Morrell will be the interim mayor if the vote comes in, if that election takes place, if the signatures are received, they're legitimate, they're verified by the Secretary of State's office. John Bell Edwards will call a special election. If citizens oust the mayor, she'll immediately be gone. J.P. Morrell reportedly will become the interim mayor until the next election, which is going to be pretty quick, weeks or maybe a month or two away. Another special election where qualified candidates can run for the remainder of LaToya Cantrell's term. The reason J.P. Morrell's been mentioned because reportedly he claims he's not going to run for mayor in 3 years. So he's the council member that would become the interim mayor for just a short period of time, and then we would elect a new mayor for the remainder of LaToya Cantrell's term. Qualified candidates would apply, and we would go from there. I'm sure some would be political names, some would be outsiders, some would be unknown folks. But obviously they'd be citizens of New Orleans to qualify to run for that. So sign the recall. NoLatoya.org. All the locations, there's a lot of them every single day. You can fill out the form, print it, and fill it out. You have to do it by hand, and then mail it in or drop it off at one of those locations. Sign the recall. Let's move New Orleans forward. And the great thing is, there's an election. That's all it does. It sets up an election. You can vote to keep the mayor or vote to oust the mayor. And like I said, she's earned that. She deserves that. Boy, I'm fired up, because not about that so much. We desperately need real leadership in this city, someone special that can move the needle. I got someone special that moves the needle everywhere she goes. LSU Lady Tigers hoop coach, a living legend. Kim Mulkey is going to join us next. Olympic gold medal winner, Naismith Hall of Fame, Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, 3-time national champion as a coach, national champ as a player, assistant coach, head coach, the only person, men or women's, to accomplish that. Tickfaw's own, Strawberry Country's own, Kim Mulkey is going to join us next on the program. Now, very fired up about that. This lady is a pure winner, 21-0, third-ranked team in the land. Kim Mulkey next, Corey Johnson with you. Don't move.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool side. NolaAC.com, your cool side.
Mardi Gras 3 weeks away. Very happy about that. Really excited about my next guest on the program, Kaare Johnson, with you till 6 o'clock. She literally is a living legend and in the prime of her life. Still has a lot of time left to coach and do a lot of other stuff. So glad LSU scooped her up. Kim Mulkey joins us live on the program. Coach, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. A real pleasure.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm super excited. I have been all day. Hey, let's jump right into it. Well, what did it mean to you coming home to Louisiana and LSU, just about 40 miles from where you grew up in Tickfaw?
I think timing is so important in our lives. I think things that happen in our lives, decisions we make in our lives, it's all about timing. And it just felt right that at this time in my life, which is basically the last third of my career, I've been doing this for, 40 years, that it felt right. I wanted to come back to the state of Louisiana, and I just want to be a positive. I want to bring excitement. I can't promise championships, but that's what we're playing for. But I just wanted to rebuild the LSU program to an elite level. I wanted to be a positive for our state and, just be a positive.
Did you think you were going to get it back to such an elite level so quickly? I mean, it's insanely quick how you've done this.
No, I don't think anybody could tell you that. I thought it was insanely quick.
Yep.
Winning the first national championship within 5 years. And there's no blueprint for that. It's not even fair to other coaches for an athletic director or anybody to say, oh, you need to win one before the fifth year. I think what you want to see is progress.
Yep.
You want to see a team getting better, and we had an unbelievable year last year, and I inherited some good seniors, and they followed my lead, and then we brought in 9 new pieces this year, and it's just an exciting time right now at LSU and women's basketball.
I guess Brian Kelly would say this, Matt McMahon, Jay Johnson, that transfer portal the last few years has changed things. You can kind of rebuild a little quicker than normal, right?
Well, that's without question. I think all of us as coaches are concerned about the transfer portal. It can be a positive, but it can also be a negative. You can work your entire life. You can work a long time recruiting athletes and get them, and then they get here, and after 1 year, they're not happy about something, or some of them don't even leave unhappy. That's the new wave. That's what young people do now. So we were fortunate to be on the positive end and got 9 new pieces in here. But yes, it definitely can help you, but it can also hurt you.
Yeah, you get these collective folks calling one of your players, hey, got 50 grand for you if you come to the University of so-and-so. It's a whole different ball game.
Well, they can't call. That's pay for play. That's basically tampering. But what kids do now, I think we're all knowledgeable. Kids talk. Kids are friends with other players at other schools, and everybody shares what they're getting. And a lot of coaches fought it. I don't think any of us saw this coming down the pipe until we realized, hey, we better embrace it because it's coming and it's here to stay. And
Yep.
I don't know how you stop it. Once you let those worms out of that can or that toothpaste out of that tube, it's hard to put it back in.
It is. You're right. Hey, you're barely a year into the job, and you've already got an undefeated team ranked 3rd in the country. How far do you think this team can go?
I don't know. I still don't know how good we are. I know we're very talented, but we acknowledge that we have not played a tough non-conference schedule. We don't apologize for. My goodness, our turning starter from last year's team when that schedule was finished.
Yep.
And I'm not one to ever overschedule. I'm trying to build a program. Second year here, I'm not going to overschedule. Now, here come the 9 new players, and you wish you could have gone back and some tougher teams, but it is what it is.
Hey, Coach, you were a 4.0 student in high school. I mean, everything you seem to do, you're shooting for perfection. What makes you such a competitor and a relentless worker? You don't stop.
I think it's internal. Some people, life experiences make them a certain way, and I probably have a little bit of that. I think it's internal. I think it's competitiveness that you're born with. I'm not a passive person. I'm very competitive. I wanted to compete in the classroom with those that really intellectually were much smarter than me, but I would never let them know that. I would just outstudy them. I would stay up till 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning and try to finish valedictorian in my senior class, and then went to Louisiana Tech and had a goal to graduate summa cum laude, and I did in business. And
wow,
I just think when you do something, give it everything you have, and if you fall short, you really have done good, because you're going to fail in life. And I've been blessed to be around people who make me look good and better. But the academic side of it, I'm very proud of that. Probably the thing I'm most proud of academically is I never missed a day of school from kindergarten through 12th grade. And that's doctor's appointments, that's ball games, but I never missed a day of school. And that's crazy, but that was just me.
That is crazy. We're visiting with Kim Mulkey. Hey, Coach, besides your parents, who are some of your biggest influences, your biggest mentors?
I always give credit to my teachers and to my coaches. I think the influence that teachers and coaches have on you at different stages of your life, you remember things. And I would say there's too many of those to acknowledge one. But in basketball, it would be Leon Barmore taught me the details of the game at Louisiana Tech. And I think Pat Summitt internationally taught me a lot of things when I was playing with USA Basketball. I was fortunate to play on 4 state championship teams at Hammond High and played for 2 different coaches who went on to be collegiate coaches for a little while. So you just kind of learn from everybody. And then, I was never going to be a coach. And then when I decided, yes, this is what I'm meant to do, just incorporate it into your own personality.
You're the only person on the planet who's got a national title as a player, an assistant coach, as a head coach. The only person to ever do that. Hey, and you know that. Will we ever see the ponytails again, like when you were running the point for La Tech?
I doubt it. When you're 60 years of age, you kind of you don't go back and wish you were back in those moments in your life. You just have memories. First of all, my hair's not long enough, and I'm never going to grow my hair that long again. I think that, I just want to stay healthy. I want to be able to squat on that sideline. I want to be able to see that scoreboard, and I'll keep doing this as long as I put a product on the floor that's good and competitive, and I stay healthy.
That white and light blue uni, the ponytails, you bringing the ball up the court for La Tech, I think that's just burned in so many people's brain. Hey, Steve Kerr shoots 3-pointers with the team. You were an All-American. Obviously, you know how to play basketball. Do you ever play with your team?
Are you kidding? They would hurt me. There's no way I would get out there. Back in the day when I started at Baylor, I would get out there and take charges and show them how to do things. But as you get older, I learned from my own 2 kids, once they can beat you and they can physically hurt you, you better step away and be an instructor. And no, I don't go out there and do any of that because I'm too competitive. And if I lose one game of horse or 3-point shooting, I'm going to make them play till I win.
Angel Reese might be the collegiate player of the year. You've coached some amazing talent. How does she rank with some of the all-time greats you've played with and coached?
She's a rebounding beast.
Yep.
She just has a knack for the ball. She knows where it's going to come off. She gets a lot of her own misses now, but she just has that physical body that she's going to position herself to get a rebound. She has a super will to win. I tell people all the time, don't tell me somebody hates to lose. That would describe everybody. Everybody hates to lose. And then you'll see half of the people laughing and cutting up and forget they just lost.
Yep.
Those that have an unbelievable will to win, they don't forget it. They don't forget the losses. It bothers them for a while. And I just think that's how I would describe Angel Reese.
Well, you nailed it too. The 24 points a game, almost 25 a game is impressive as can be, but 16 boards a game. That's tenacious, huh?
Well, it is. And she's very proud of the fact that she's second on the team in assist. She knows she's going to be doubled and triple team, and that kid can find some open players. She doesn't try to, be the only star we have. She gets a lot of attention, and rightfully so, but players around her and down there on the block, and she gets doubled or triple team, she can find you open.
We're visiting with a living legend, Tiger hoops coach Kim Mulkey, Olympic gold medalist, Naismith Hall of Fame, Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, 3-time national champion as a coach. As I said earlier, national title as a player, assistant coach, head coach, the only person to do it. And from Strawberry Country, from Tickfaw. We're going to come right back, Coach. I'm going to knock out a quick break. Kim Mulkey's with us, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, South Louisiana. Don't go anywhere.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for Asbestos-Moneygrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe,
the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine. Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
LSU Lady Tigers coach Kim Mulkey's with us on the program. Hey, Kim, everybody's talking about Angel Reese, but you don't go 21-0 with just one star player. Who are some of the other players we need to look out for that you're impressed with? I mean, Floje Johnson, Jasmine Carson, Alexis Morris went off the other night.
Well, I think the game of basketball, people may disagree with me. Listen, if you've got a post player, you got a point guard, and you got a shooter, those are some pieces to start with. But we have a tremendous player in Angel, as you've mentioned. Alexis Morris is capable of scoring lots of points, but because she's point guard this year, she's distributing it a lot and being very unselfish.
Yep.
Jasmine Carson is our best three-point shooter. She can light it up. I would say she's one of the top 2 3-point shooters I've ever coached.
Wow.
Floje Johnson is she's just having a great freshman year. She's our third leading scorer. She can get in there. Last night she banged and guarded a first-round senior that's going to be a first-round pick in the draft. And as a freshman, it was a big moment for her to grow up. And then I think our quiet one that's just having a very good senior year is Ladae Williams. Those are your starting 5. And then coming off the bench, I come with a freshman, Samaya Smith from DeSoto, Texas. Half. I didn't play her much the second half. She couldn't get her nose to stop bleeding. And then Poa, last tier Poa, is an Australian kid. She's playing her best basketball. She plays the point. And then Kateri Poole transferred here from Ohio State, and she can play all 3 perimeter positions. So those are the 8 main ones that I play.
Do you coach offense and defense equally? Or are you slightly maybe more focused on the team playing great defense because that is something you sort of can fully control, where offensively the shots have to drop?
Well, I think to start preseason practice, the kids would tell you defense and rebounding. We'll go some practices where we never pick up a ball. But then as you get going and you realize the strength of your team is, man, they can score and put some points up, then you've got to be very creative, and you got to have quick hitters, and you got to have things to reward them. But they know in the tough games, there are a lot of teams that can score with us. And so the team that usually plays defense the best and usually rebounds the best, that's who's going to win the game. We were getting manhandled the first half last night. Tennessee was killing us on the offensive boards, and then we came back in the second half, and they only had 2.
Wow, that's amazing. That says it all. Hey, Coach, have you ever had the desire to coach a men's team in college or even coach at the NBA level? Obviously, a whole different thing. I'm not saying better, just different.
I don't have a desire to be the Olympic coach. That requires a lot of summers away from your family. I've been offered that opportunity to coach USA basketball in the summer. One time I was going through my divorce and turned it down. The second time, my daughter was getting married. So you have to put in those years in the summer to become the Olympic coach. I have no desire to do that. My off season is spent with my family. I have an Olympic medal. I don't need that to fulfill my resume. to coach the men on the college level. I don't sit there and think, man, I need to go do that because I can make more money. I don't need to go do that because I'll get more recognition. I have been blessed to coach the elite of the elite on the women's side and be around some of the greatest players this game has ever had.
Yep.
Do I think there are women someday that can be outstanding men's coaches? I do, but I really don't think there's but a handful. And the reason I say that, you have to have the personality to walk in that locker room and gain their respect. How do you gain that? Well, you gain it because they see your knowledge of the game. You have to have contacts in recruiting on the men's side, and that takes many years to gain. You're seeing more assistant coaches in the NBA. I don't know if you'll ever see one be a head coach, but you're certainly seeing a lot more assistant coaches.
Yep, no doubt about it. Hey, real quick, Coach, breaking news, Sean Payton going to Denver. Do you learn anything from coaches in other sports like the Sean Payton types that are, just sick competitors that really want to win?
Well, you're always watching sports. My three main sports, and it's because I grew up in Louisiana, are football, basketball, and baseball. And those are the ones I know the most about, and those are the ones I'll watch the most games of. And what I learned from afar watching on television is not so much X's and O's as it is how they handle players in a game. I watch interactions with players. I watch, just how they operate. I do watch situations in game, if it's 4th and 2 and, how much time's on the clock, what made them do that, because you don't know the inner workings of what's transpired in practice and all those things. You can only learn so much, but I absolutely watch the game. I don't watch a lot of NBA games until it's playoffs. But when it becomes playoffs, they take it up a notch, and that's very enjoyable.
Hey, Kim, how are the athletic facilities for women's basketball at LSU? Are there some things you'd like to see LSU do for the program? Any improvements that are needed in facilities?
Well, I think everybody, it's no secret. The PMAC, it needs to be renovated. It's an eyesore. It's old now, and I think our administration is aware of that. They are working on funds through TAF to try to get a shovel in the ground and renovate the PMAC. There had been many discussions. Do we renovate? Do we tear down? Do we start over? I kind of stay out of that discussion, but I do know it's on the board. I do know there's been many meetings aware of it. You got a beautiful stadium there that seats 100,000+, right across the street is the PMAC. So that's the central part of campus that people see, and it's time to get it done. And as with anything, you got to have funds, and I think that that's being done right now.
Yeah, that facility's 50 years old. Folks maybe don't realize it.
Yes, it is.
15,000 in there last night. That's insane, huh? That's one of the largest crowds ever at the PMAC since they renovated it, men or women's, gymnastics, whatever. That had to really please you. That's just fantastic for you guys, for the sport, for LSU, for the state. 15,000 plus. I don't know if there was an empty seat in that building.
I know they stayed to the bitter end. You didn't see people leave. Everybody was a part of that. The student section was crazy. They were throwing powder up in the air before the game. And of course, they love to chant neck. And so it was rocking in the PMAC now. Hey,
La Tech, maybe short-sighted, not giving you the 5-year contract that you desired. Do you have any hard feelings for your alma mater, or that was such a long time ago that all is forgotten and you wish him the best?
No, one man made that decision. One man, for whatever reason, made that decision. And as much as I cried tears to leave, I'm a very principled person. I'd spent 19 years of my life there. What else can I prove to show you my value? And I turned down 3 head coaching jobs, gave me a 3-year contract, moved it to a 4. And I said, I will not stay and follow in the footsteps of Leon Barmore. That's like following in Bear Bryant's footsteps.
Yep.
You have to have security. I'd already had 15 years invested in the state retirement system, and I wouldn't budge. And it just so happens that Baylor was the school on the phone that offered me a 5-year contract, and that's how it happened. And I love Louisiana Tech. I won't even go back there and play on that court because I invested too much in that program, too many moments, hours in that program. I will play them somewhere, but I won't go to the Assembly Center and play it. That's too hard.
Wow, won't go back to Ruston. Hey, the one of the most amazing things, Coach, that kind of blows me away. I'm what you did at Louisiana Tech, and then you go to Baylor. Baylor's out of the top 25 for the first time in 20 years since you got to Baylor, and LSU's 21-0 and number 3. That just yells Kim Mulkey.
Well, that may be a principal deal. Just the same reason I left Louisiana Tech in the wonderful 21 years we had at Baylor. It just, it was the right time for me to move. My home, I still have a house in Waco. My grandchildren, my daughter, my son-in-law, they're all still there.
Wow.
Dear friends. There were numerous Baylor fans in the stands last night.
Wow.
You don't spend that long a time in one community without having lifelong friends. And someday, maybe in my next book, I'll give details on exactly why I left. But let me just say this. Thank God for unanswered prayers, both when I left Tech and both when I left Baylor. And I went with my gut. I went with principle. And I've always said, you get messages sent to you, and you think about it and you go with it. And that's what I did.
3 national titles in 21 seasons there. Coach, you probably know this. You only have 2 times you had double-digit losses, and it was 10 once and it was 11 once. 87% win percentage. There's a line from the Wolf of Wall Street movie. Don't judge me by my wins. Judge me on my losses because I have so few. That guy was full of you-know-what. You're not. It's scary how good you are, Coach.
No, I've been blessed. I've worked hard. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I have worked hard. I was smart enough to hire the right assistant coaches who believed in me when all we had to sell was Kim Mulkey and had nothing else to sell at Baylor University. And I knew coming here, I didn't have to sell myself. This was home.
Yep.
But it was work. We worked hard, and we had to take players that were not the blue chip, the McDonald's All-Americans, but that's work. You sit up in the stands and you watch those that you can win with, and that's what we did at Baylor. And then when you started winning, then you were able to get in the homes of those blue chip recruits.
I can't help myself, Coach. Maybe this is why when I'm like 1 over on hole 15, I shoot 80 at the end. I can't help myself. 1 game at a time, I know. But come February 12th, it's a potential 1 versus 3 SEC showdown. Dawn Staley in South Carolina. How important is that type of game for this season and maybe more importantly, the future of your basketball program?
You're not going to want to hear this, but those guys are the defending national champions. Those guys, I don't see anybody beating them. It would take almost a perfect game to beat them. I think those guys are bored. They're so good. They just have so much depth. But I'll go back to 2005 when I was at Baylor and we were getting ready to play LSU in the semifinals of the Final Four. No way we should beat them. They had the best team in the country, the best player in the country, the best post player, the best point guard. And Herm Edwards said it best. That's why you play the game. We're going to play hard. We're going to give it everything we have. But South Carolina is that good. If we win the game, great. There'll be a lot of talk about it. If we lose the game, they'll say, see, they're not that good. We're pretty good. We're just not on South Carolina's level yet.
Wow. Hey, Coach, an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us on the program.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. That's Kim Mulkey joining us live from Baton Rouge. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, big breaking news. Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos. Coming right back.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan. Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. If you missed the last 30 minutes, you missed a Louisiana legend, a national legend, Kim Mulkey, Naismith Hall of Fame coach, who has the Tigers rolling. I mean, last year, 26-6 in her first year at LSU, 26-6. 21-0 so far, including last night's win over Tennessee, over 15,000 at the PMAC. No, just a hyper competitor. Speaking of breaking news, a win for all sides. Sean Payton agreeing to become the Denver Broncos head coach. The Saints will receive the Broncos' first-round pick from this year's draft in compensation, which is the 29th selection overall. And they'll also receive the Denver Broncos' second-round selection next year, which is unknown. So the Saints get a 2023, this year's draft, the Broncos' first-round pick, 29th overall. And they get the second-round pick of the Broncos next year as compensation for Sean Payton. No, Payton goes to Denver. He's going to get $20+ million a year, might be close to $25 million a year. He's got a quarterback that I think he knows he can win with, and Russell Wilson, that clearly can win with. A lot of folks think Russell Williams older. He's like 33 years old. He's not old at all. He's like in the prime of his career. And whatever problems he had this year with the Broncos, I mean, if there's someone to right that ship, it's Sean Payton. No, the Saints win. He's going to the AFC. He's in the rearview mirror now. And that's a blessing. That's a good thing. Sean Payton was never, ever coming back to New Orleans to coach the Saints. So a win for everybody. A win for the Saints, a win for Sean Payton, a win for the Broncos. No, great news. Sean Payton going to Denver. Saints get the 29th overall selection in this year's draft, and they'll get Denver's second-round pick next year. No, that's great stuff. Glad to hear it. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie. Yeah, you right. They're open till 9 p.m. tonight, Monday through Saturday till 9 p.m. They got local New Orleans specialties. They got a few Italian specialties. The thing I think they're most known for, because I don't know who else does this. Maybe there's another restaurant. I hope there's another restaurant, because this is how everybody used to do it. But then all of a sudden, Chinese crawfish at $5 a pound instead of $15 a pound. You know, tilapia, it's like speckled trout. No, it's not. And those uniform knuckle, no fat Chinese crawfish are terrible. If I can't afford the $15 crawfish, I'm not having crawfish. I want the local, fresh Louisiana crawfish, no uniform shape, all different sizes, full of that fat, that flavor, the best crawfish in the world. And no offense, I'm not a sellout. I'm not going to buy tilapia, farm-raised something or other. I'm just not going to do it. Maine lobster, Dover sole, that's a whole different thing. That isn't a fish we have around here, or lobster. But boy, we live in ground zero on this planet, the best seafood in the world. Everything you'd want. Shrimp and crab and oysters and crawfish and flounder and speckled trout, and snapper. I mean, go on and on and on. We're blessed. We got, you go out towards Chalmette, launch your boat, in 15 minutes, fresh water. In 15 minutes, brackish water. In 15 minutes, salt water. It just, tuna capital of the world, arguably. Just, you can't beat New Orleans, South Louisiana, and our seafood bounty. And Fury's recognizes this. Not one, but two seafood purveyors. They got their main guy and their backup guy. They use them both. If there's a concern with John and Manny Fury, those guys, like Fury's, they've been at it like 40 years. They fade away. John and Manny a little nervous. Man, we're going to be able to find somebody that's going to provide us daily with the best local catch. Fresh and local. That's only what Fury's does. If they don't have it, that's because it's not available or it's out of season. You never, ever have to ask. You never have to worry about, is it fresh or frozen? Is it from out of state, out of the country? Always local, always fresh. It makes a big difference. And honestly, I don't know if anyone else does it. Sadly, I don't know if anyone else does it. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, open till 9 p.m. tonight. Corey Johnson with you on a pretty warm Tuesday. Temperatures in the mid-70s, high humidity over 70%. Feels like practically 80 degrees out there. But one of the good things about winter in New Orleans, if it's super cold or super warm, it's only going to last for a few days. Coolio front, some rain on Thursday, cold front rolling in by Friday. We'll be back in the wake up to the high 40s, 50s most of the day on Friday. Saturday should be a cloudless blue sky. Sunday maybe a little cloudy, but again, 50s. No, back to that winter weather as we are in the last day of January, heading to the first day of February tomorrow. No, we're going to be right back to normal in a few days. I don't even mind the warm weather, seriously. Short sleeve shirt today. You could, you could wear shorts. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you can catch it on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. The living legend, LSU Lady Tigers hoops coach, Kim Mulkey joined us on the program. Coming up next, the 5 o'clock power hour. Breaking news, Saints fans, and we'll tell it like it is. Sean Payton going to the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton agreeing to terms with the Broncos. I'm guessing the minimum is a $20 million a year deal. And it's most likely closer to $25 million. What's that, Blue Boy? Saints get the 29th pick in the draft and Denver's second-round pick next year. 5 o'clock powwow next. Don't move, New Orleans.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
If you are a loved one or suffering from addiction, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
I feel personally, when I walk around on the grounds, that it's sacred ground. It's healing. Just the environment is healing. Just being here makes one feel like that, I can let go. I can let go of the worry. I can let go of the stress that I've been carrying around for a long time. We don't shame anybody. We don't blame anybody. We don't judge anyone. Just that alone really is the foundation on which everything else that we do is done.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
504-291-4000. 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center. SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week. Lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers. And we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now.
Once upon a time, there were 3 beautiful girls. 2 of them graduated from the police academy. The other graduated from a top school for models. And they each reaped the rewards of their exciting
Wasn't in love with Farrah Fawcett back then, huh?
But I took them away.
And that
from all
poster,
and now
that
they work for me.
infamous or famous poster in the orange one-piece suit. Wow, that thing's still great today. Nothing wrong with Kate Jackson, Jacqueline Smith, Cheryl Ladd in the bikini on the boat. Wow. Charlie's Angels coming your way next? No. It's the 5 o'clock power hour. You are on the neutral ground. Corey Johnson with you till 6 o'clock. If you missed the last hour, a legend, Kim Mulkey, joined us on the program. You can check that out on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. The big breaking news of the day, Sean Payton going to the Denver Broncos. Yeah, you right. You got to love that. A win, win, win. Sean Payton wins, the Broncos win, and the Saints win. That's what you call a good deal. Some folks like to work a deal where it's a good deal for them, and then they're happy that they screwed over the other side or the other side didn't get a good deal. I don't see what the benefit of that is. I like where each side benefits. Each side feels really good about it. I mean, Bronco fans have to be ecstatic. The organization has to be fired up. Russell Wilson's got to be fired up. Sean Payton's going to earn $20 to $25 million annually. It's probably some 5-year, $115, $120 million deal, something crazy like that. Maybe longer. Might be like 7 years, close to $200 million. Who knows? It's going to be huge, and it. Don't think a 7-year, $200 million is out of the realm of possibility, because it would be, $23 million this year, next year, $25 million, the next year, $27, the year after that, $30, $35 at the end of the deal per year. Sean Payton's no fool. He's probably got a ridiculously qualified agent. All NFL teams have deep pockets. But the Broncos might have the deepest of all with this new ownership, this Penner Walmart group. I mean, you look at the Forbes list of billionaires. If you combine all the Waltons, they're number one by $100 million. Like every Walton member, there's like 3 or 4 of them. They're all worth like $50 billion each. So the Broncos, you could say, have the richest ownership by a lot in the entire NFL. So 20, 25 million plus a year. It's not nothing, but it's not something either. It's just business in the NFL. Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos. The Saints will receive the Broncos' first-round selection in this year's draft, the 29th pick overall. They'll also receive the Broncos' second-round pick in next year's draft. Saints get what they want. Payton goes to the AFC. The Saints might see Sean Payton once every 3 or 4 years. The only time they'd see him in the playoffs would be the Super Bowl. Sean Payton is in the rear view mirror in New Orleans, like I said, never coming back. Never coming back to New Orleans. Left in a rush, in a hurry. Personal reasons. Yet while he was coaching the Saints, a flirtation with the Dolphins. The Dolphins got popped for tampering for Brady and Payton. For that to happen, it can't be one-sided. Payton's agent, somebody, a Payton representative indirectly communicating with the Dolphins, obviously. Same with Brady. Sean Payton, I need a break, burnout. He before the door hit him in the rear end leaving the airline drive facility, he was already saying ready to coach again. Purely personal reasons why he left New Orleans. Nothing to do with burnout, nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with ownership or the Saints roster, none of that. The only regret I have is Sean Payton is a winner, hyper-competitive coach, and you wanted to see, as a Saints fan, what he was going to do post-Drew Brees. That's what you really wanted to see, and we never got a chance to see it. Post-Drew Brees, 9-8, barely made 500. No quarterback of the future there. That Taysom Hill, the quarterback's already in the building. Just a bunch of crap. Sean Payton is the king of that. This whole coaching thing, going on national television, nothing local, going on these, websites, podcasts, throwing info to Rappaport and other national sports guys, throwing his narrative out there, trying to manipulate and control the deal when he had no control over the deal. Mickey Loomis had the leverage, not Sean Payton. Social media is a trip with emotional Saints fans and even some emotional media coming up with just the most insane stuff, flaky, wishy-washy, one day this, the next day that. One thing you get with me, like it or not, consistency. I'm not flaky. I don't say one thing on Monday and the opposite a week later or even the next day. And because I'm looking at this situation from kind of outside the bubble, like a macro view, not this minutia micro view. I think it's a more realistic view of it. And I think how I've handled this Sean Payton situation, pretty much right on. Anyway, a win-win-win for all sides. The Saints, the Broncos, Sean Payton. In the AFC, in the rearview mirror, Saints get the 29th overall selection in this year's draft and the Broncos' second rounder next year. I think the Saints send a third rounder next year to the Broncos. And that's the deal. No, this is just great news. Finally, Sean Payton in the rearview mirror. Because he was never coming back. So it's all just spinning your wheels, wasting your time, thinking about Sean Payton and a possible return to New Orleans. Wow. Great news. Fired up. Breaking news. Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos. Yeah, you right. 3 weeks from today, New Orleans, Mardi Gras 2023. I got some trivia questions for you. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa can be yours. I've got several $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates. 4 locations right now. A 5th coming online very, very soon, like within the next few weeks. You got the flagship in Mid-City, New Orleans, Canal Street at Carrollton. You got the Woodhouse Day Spa in Metairie, near North Kenner, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. You got the Woodhouse Day Spa on the North Shore, I-10 at Gauze and Slidell, and coming soon, a second North Shore location in Mandeville, Treyen Country. And, of course, the Woodhouse Day Spa in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. 4 Woodhouse Day Spas right now, a 5th Mandeville coming online soon. I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. The old neighborhood parades. I wish we'd go back to the old neighborhood parades, not just the St. Charles Avenue route for like 90% of our parades. I love the pre-St. Charles Avenue routes where they were all over the place. I'm looking for the New Orleans East Parade back in the day, 30, 40 years ago, when it was neighborhood parades, not just the uptown route. The New Orleans East Parade. Give me the answer to that. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. The Uptown Monday Night Parade that lined up on the street, in Uptown that is sort of famous. Not St. Charles Avenue. That's a weird hint. Uptown Monday Night Parade in Uptown. Well, I'm being redundant now. Uptown Monday Night Parade. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse. How about 30, 40 years ago, that Chalmette Parade? That Chalmette Parade. I believe it was a Saturday parade. I got a couple of Gentilly Lakefront parades because I grew up out there and used to go to these parades. The Saturday afternoon Gentilly Lakefront Parade. And then a few days later, the Monday night Gentilly Lakefront Parade. Both parades going pretty close to the University of New Orleans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 old school neighborhood parades in New Orleans. You got answers? I got $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates. The Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Breaking news, Sean Payton of the Denver Broncos. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. About 30 good minutes with a living legend. LSU Lady Hoops coach Kim Mulkey joined us on the program. If you missed it, check it out on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. Yeah, you right. Hey, when it comes to engagement rings, New Orleanians that know Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. When it's time for that engagement ring, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. Some absolutely fantastic news. Sean Payton agreeing to terms with the Denver Broncos. A win, win, win for all sides involved. That's my opinion, at least. The Saints get the Broncos' first-round selection in this year's draft, the 29th pick. And they get the Broncos' second-round selection next year. I think it would have been a grand slam home run if they would have pulled 2 number ones from the Denver Broncos. But I think a 1 and a 2 is pretty damn good. I don't think it's a negative or Loomis failed. Sean Payton's in the rearview mirror. No more of this nonsense of, oh, hope he comes back to New Orleans. It's just crazy. It's not right. You know, if anything, fans should feel the opposite. Sean Payton gave no warning at all because it wasn't some kind of football decision. It was a personal decision. And maybe one day some local media sports guy might tell us the reason why. But Sean Payton kind of left the Saints in a lurch. No warning. Hey, this will be my last year. I need a break. No quarterback for the future. Hey, the quarterback's already in the building and the local sports media buying into that, this Taysom Hill nonsense. It was 100% nonsense. Insane. Crazy. It blows me away. It's like, I'm thinking local sports media. Do you watch football? Do you know how difficult the quarterback position is at the National Football League level? There are only about 20 people on planet Earth that can play that position. You got about 6 or 8, maybe 10 at the most, really about 6 or 8 Drew Brees, Peyton Manning type guys, the Aaron Rodgers types, the Pat Mahomes, the Joe Burrows. There's about 6 or 8 of those in the world. Then there's like maybe another dozen players that you can win with. You can win a Super Bowl with. And then there's like the other remaining dozen starters in the NFL that these NFL teams are looking for a real quarterback, that they know they can't win with these guys. So there's maybe 20 quarterbacks in the world that you can win with at the National Football League level. There's not even one for every team. And there's maybe a team or two that have a backup that fall into that top 20. So Taysom Hill, he's going to be a top 10, top 20 quarterback on the planet. The quarterback's already in the building. Total nonsense and garbage. Sean Payton knew it. The local media ate it up, drinking the Kool-Aid. Like this past year, 25 media members polled. Every single one of them predicted the Saints to have a winning season. 24 of the 25 picked the Saints to have 10 or more wins. Just insane. There's got to be some media member that is either looking at it realistically or even a jaded or cynical one. But a lot of the local sports media, it is like a New Orleans, Louisiana illness, sickness. It happens with the Saints. It happens with LSU. First off, they want to befriend the coaches and the players. They want to be friends with the coach or the players. Second, they don't want to alienate the fans with any kind of bad news, no matter how realistic and on point it is. And then third, oh yeah, let me be a journalist. Let me do the journalism thing. It's ridiculous. The number one rule in journalism, don't befriend the people you're covering. I run away from the big shots. I'm fortunate. I've got a lot of family. I've got a lot of friends, a lot of close friends, like 10, 12, 15 really close friends I can count on. And then I've got dozens, if not over 100 friends/acquaintances, great people that I love, like a lot in New Orleans and beyond. No, I'm fortunate. Don't need to gravitate towards the, quote, big shots. Don't care. Not impressed. People are people. I'm going to treat the doorman like I am an attorney, a doctor, garbage man. You know, that's the righteous way to be. Not judging people by their money or success, or I judge people by good person, friendly person, nice, someone I can count on. Someone that does for me and I do for them. Don't care what socioeconomic level. Don't care if they're white, black, gay, straight. Doesn't matter. Avoid the big shots. No, if you're going to be a journalist, you don't befriend the folks you're covering. There's a local guy here that covers politics, and every year after elections has a big party at his house with all the politicians. I never understood that. How can you fairly and objectively cover the folks that you're friends with? I mean, if my brother, mother, one of my tight friends did so, I'd have to disclaim it. Hey, I don't know if I'm fair or objective on this one because it's my brother. It's my sister. It's a family member. It's one of my best friends. No, if you're going to get into this business and do it right, you don't befriend the people you're covering. No, it just skews your vision. And then you don't have agendas like, man, I really want to be friends with these players. This would be neat. I like that they like me and I like them. You're supposed to be doing a job. If you like them, great. They like you, fantastic. But you got to do your job. Don't befriend the folks you're covering. And don't worry about if you're alienating the fans or not. I'm a big boy. I'm an adult. I can handle the truth, the good and the bad. You don't have to downplay Bountygate or Pillgate or any of that. And you don't have to, make the good things bigger than they are, embellish or exaggerate the good things. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help. It's bad enough in news, where you got to, the polarizing left, the polarizing right. Who's this source? Oh, it's Fox News. They're coming from a conservative angle. Oh, it's MSNBC, CNN. They're coming from a liberal angle. Let me balance that out. That's bad enough. But at least with that, you can get a bunch of different, views and get a consensus. Anyway, huge news for the Saints. For the Broncos, for Sean Payton, a win-win-win. Everyone wins. There's no losers here. Sean Payton going to the Denver Broncos. They're in the AFC. The Saints only have to play them, every 3 or 4 years tops? The only time they'd meet him in the playoffs would be at the Super Bowl. Sean Payton was never coming back to New Orleans. Left for personal reasons. Left the team in a lurch. No quarterback of the future, none on the roster, that type of thing. Left the team with a 9-8 record, like 500-ish, almost a losing record, and left. Just instantly, quickly, no warning. No, thank God it wasn't the last year of his contract. Thank God the Saints had him for 2 more years. That's why the Saints got the 29th pick in this year's draft in just a few months. They'll get Denver's first-round pick, the 29th, and they'll get Denver's second-round selection next year. Russell Wilson will be in the Pro Bowl next year. Sean Payton will right that ship quickly. Russell Wilson is a winner. Russell Wilson's a future Hall of Fame quarterback. He's 33 or so. Sean Payton, one of the reasons he went to Denver is because of that quarterback. Everybody talking about ownership, GM control, all that. Sean Payton wins like Nick Saban or even Les Miles or Sean Payton in New Orleans. You win and you have full control. So Sean Payton is in control of him having control. Just win, baby. And then the front office, the general manager, the ownership, that's all kind of the great unknown. It's a new ownership group in Denver, but they have deep pockets. They're going to pay him what he wants. I'm guessing $20 million minimum, going on up every year. It could be like a 7-year, $200 million deal for Sean Payton. If I had to guess, that's what I would guess. I've not read anything, any reports, but I would think annually $20 million minimum. And probably going up. $20 million the first year, $22 the second, $25 the third, $27 the third, $31 million the fourth. It might end up with like $30, $35, $38 million that 6th, 7th year. 7-year, $200 million. That's what I'm guessing. Sean Payton will not only become the highest paid coach in the NFL, he'll be competing with those Premier League soccer coaches, top 3, 4, that make insane, obscene money annually. He'll be one of the highest paid coaches in sports in the world. No, a win-win-win. Going to the AFC, Sean Payton in the rearview mirror, never coming back. And the Saints get what they wanted. Sean Payton gets what he wants. Denver fans have to be ecstatic. A great sports town. Denver's a great city to begin with. Vibrant economy, booming growth. Sean Payton's going to be like, holy smokes. A real city with a real economy. Now, about 3 million in the metro and growing. World-class airport, world-class transit system, great infrastructure, good higher education. They got a crime problem like everybody else, but not as egregious as like New Orleans or Philly or something like that. A diversity of people. No, Denver is just a fantastic city. No, just really great news for New Orleans. Like I said, a win-win-win for everyone. Sean Payton, breaking news to the Denver Broncos. Saints get the first pick of the Broncos in this year's draft, 29th overall. The Broncos' second-round selection next year. And I think the Saints send either, let me double-check, a third or a fourth to Denver next year. A third or a fourth. No, I love it. Fantastic news. Hey, if you missed the last hour, Kim Mulkey joined us for about 30 minutes. You can check that out on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. They improved to 21-0. They're third in the land in about 2 weeks. I'm sure it'll be on ESPN1. Number 1, South Carolina, Dawn Staley. Number 3, LSU. They're the only undefeated teams in all of college basketball. Hopefully they stay that way. Hopefully it's a 1 versus 2 matchup in a couple of weeks. Yeah, Kim Mulkey joined us for a good 30 minutes in the 4 o'clock hour. I enjoyed that conversation. I think you will too. Check it out on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480. 766-9480. Speaking of Rouse's Markets, it's Mardi Gras season. Rouse's truly is your Mardi Gras headquarters for all you need. Party trays, sandwiches, local New Orleans eats, plus all the stuff you want at a grocery and more. Get the ice chest, the ice, the beer, alcohol, everything you need for Mardi Gras. And when you go into each and every Rouse's, they're 60 plus. They've been doing it for over 60 years. And speaking of 60 years, that's about how old their king cake recipe is. That incredible cinnamon-laced dough. You can smell it baking in every Rouse's. It's king cake season. They've got about 20, 25 different choices. I like the basic, just plain cinnamon dough with the icing, but they've got about 20 different cream-filled po' boys. King cakes. Cream-filled po' boys. They've got about 20 different cream-filled king cakes, and they will ship them to friends and family all around the country. Go to Rouses.com. Best quality, best price, best selection. Truly your king cake headquarters. You can smell it when you go into any Rouses. And your Mardi Gras headquarters. They got everything you need for your parade. Chairs, umbrellas, everything you could imagine. Rouses Market tastes like home. Tastes like Mardi Gras. Smells like Mardi Gras. Smells like king cakes. Rouses Market's phone lines to participate in this program, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. I got some Mardi Gras related trivia questions. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa can be yours. 766-9480. Talking about those old neighborhood parades from 30, 40 years ago, before everything went to the traditional uptown St. Charles route. I mean, like Endymion's like the exception. They go in mid-city and end up downtown. Pretty much anything else in New Orleans starts on Tchoupitoulas or Claiborne's, up Napoleon, St. Charles Avenue. Obviously, Metairie has their parades, some West Bank parades, and there's some neighborhood parades, Chalmette, the Eastman, not like before where there were a bunch of neighborhood parades. 30, 40 years ago, what was that New Orleans East parade? I believe the first parade for New Orleans East. Used to go down Hayne Boulevard. We used to go check it out because you had to go to the outlying neighborhoods, the suburbs and exurbs to catch a parade that day. How about that Uptown Monday night parade that did not start on the traditional, Tchoupitoulas, Claiborne's to Napoleon route? They started on another street to get to Napoleon. An Uptown Monday night parade that started in a different location 30, 40 years ago than today. How about that Chalmette parade down General de Gaulle like 30, 40 years ago? And I got a couple in the Gentilly lakefront area. One was a Saturday afternoon parade, and the other one was that next Monday night. It's pretty cool for Gentilly lakefront folks having a day parade on a Saturday and a night parade on a Monday. That night parade on a Monday came through Paris Avenue, Robert E. Lee, through Robert E. Lee on Paris Avenue, almost to the lake. Like hooked a U-turn on like Killdeer, like a block from the lake. I don't know why they didn't go all the way to that fountain in Lake Terrace right on the lake and U-turn, but they U-turned, I think, on Killdeer. Name any of those parades, 5 Mardi Gras questions, old school neighborhood parades. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 4 area locations right now: New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, North Shore, Baton Rouge. Coming soon, a second North Shore location in Mandeville, Trey Yen Country. Yeah, you right. Rouses Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. 766-9480. Breaking news. Yeah, you right. A win-win-win, in my opinion. Sean Payton to the Denver Broncos. It's a done deal. I'm guesstimating Sean Payton's deal could be something like 7-year, $200 million. I think he's going to earn a minimum of $20 million annually. And that deal, I think, will increase over the time of the contract. Sean Payton expected to be one of the highest paid coaches in pro sports in the world. He'll be the highest paid coach in North America and probably in the neighborhood with 3 or 4 of these Premier League soccer coaches that make obnoxious money. I think there's one Premier League soccer coach that makes like $38 million a year, something like that, something insane. Sean Payton will be somewhere in that neighborhood. I'm guessing like a 7-year, $200 million deal. That's my guess. We'll see what it ends up being. But a win-win-win. Sean Payton's in the rearview mirror. He goes to an AFC team. The Saints get Denver's number 1 pick in this year's draft, 29th overall, and they get Denver's pick in next year's draft, a 2nd rounder. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? Why aren't you at Katie's, as New Orleans as it gets? lunch, dinner, 7 days a week. And in the middle of the day, in between lunch and dinner, a bunch of New Orleans characters plopping down at the bar. Some of them are in there 3-4 times a week. No, just a great New Orleans spot. A homey place for Creole, New Orleans, Italian eats, from pizzas to po' boys and so much in between. More is better. More of the good things, like chef owner Scott Craig says. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, corner Iberville and Talamacas. That's in between Bienville and Canal Street, in between Carrollton and Doc Francis Parkway. Why aren't you at Katie's right now?
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Hey everyone, it's Casey Kasem with another top 40 hit that's sweeping the nation. Because I'm Vappy. Because I'm Vappy, supposed to be patrolling the streets as a cop. Instead, I do it my way. Because I'm Vappy, hanging out at the Puntava apartment with Junket Cantrell all day. Because I'm Vappy, on the clock, not patrolling the streets. Instead, kicking back and still getting paid. Because I'm Vappy, waiting for the cable man, water plants and chilling, hey, because I'm Vappy on the city payroll, not working, because Montalba's such a nice place to stay, because I'm Vappy earning lots of money, because who wants to work when one can play, because I'm Vappy violent crime in the city, but hanging with the mayor, got nothing more to say, because I'm Vappy, because I'm Vappy, because I'm Vappy. Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a whole lot. Besides breaking news, Sean Payton going to Denver, Kim Mulkey joined us for 30 minutes, the legendary LSU Lady Tigers hoop coach. Excuse me. Pretty amazing. Olympic gold medal winner, Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, 3-time national championship coach at Baylor. When she's at Baylor, they're in the top 25 her entire career. She leaves Baylor within a year. That program is out of the top 25. LSU, rarely in the top 25 the last 20 years. I shouldn't say that. You go back to Sue Gunter and Pokey Chapman. They were, and, you know, Fowles and a Simone Augustus. They were a Final Four team. But for the last 10, 12, 15 years, not a lot of success with the Lady Tigers program. And Kim Mulkey comes in and they go like 26-6 last year. Were they 24-6 last year? They're 21-0 and they're ranked 3rd in the land. They've got the Collegiate Player of the Year, most likely. Just a hyper competitor, totally focused, wants to win. Cannot wait. In about 2 weeks, February 12th, I'm sure it'll be on ESPN number 1. Number 3, LSU. Could be up to number 2 by that time. Number 1, South Carolina, defending national champs, Dawn Staley's crew. Could be 1 versus 2. Right now, they're the only undefeated teams in college basketball. Stanford has a couple of losses, and I guess because of their history and, you know, doing it for a while, they're the 2nd-ranked team in the land ahead of undefeated LSU. Over 15,000 showed up last night at the PMAC. LSU taking care of 29th-ranked Tennessee, a team that used to just own LSU year in, year out. 15,000 plus, an insane crowd at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. A good crowd at a Pelicans game is 15,000. The arena is rocking. The upper deck is basically full when there's 15,000. A sellout at the Smoothie King Center is like another 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 folks. And they can do more than that. They can get around 18,000 in there. But the point is 15,000 fans at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center is tremendous. No, really interesting interview with Kim Mulkey last hour. You can check that out on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, and of course, YouTube. Program live on YouTube all the time, every day, 4 to 6 o'clock, 2 big hours. 2 big hours on the radio, 93.9 FM. Oh, so fine, 93.9. You can also check us out starting at 4 o'clock on 107.9, New Orleans' own. And 600 AM up and down the I-10, I-12 corridor from like Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida, starting at 4 o'clock. CoreyTalks.com, live streaming every day for 2 hours. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, is hiring. Go to their website, latrim.com, for a full listing of positions available. East Bankers, West Bankers. They got you covered at their Elmwood facility. North Shore folks, right off the I-12 in Hammond, a few hundred jobs there, and they're looking for you. You go to their website, it's not like 3 or 4 job openings. It's dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings. A job for you. We're heading into February tomorrow. 2023 is here. New Year's resolution, 86 in the old job, the old career, and getting a new one. Latrim.com has you covered, and they're looking for you. A true culture of innovation at Latrim. Go to their website, latrim.com, for a full listing of positions available. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, you right. A win-win-win, in my opinion. Hey, could the Saints have done better? Yeah, could have been 2 number ones. I mean, you could sit there and argue this all day long. For me, it's a win-win-win. The Saints get Denver's first-round pick this year, 29th. Yeah, you wish it was 10th. You wish it was 15th, of course. You wish it was 2 number ones. They get the 29th pick overall in this year's draft and Denver's second-round pick next year. Sean Payton goes to the AFC, not an NFC team. Might face Denver every 3-4 years, tops. The only time you'll catch Sean Payton in the playoffs is if you make it to the Super Bowl. Sean Payton in the rear view mirror. I wish Sean Payton was still the coach of the Saints. I was so looking forward to what Sean Payton is going to do as head coach without Drew Brees. His entire career in New Orleans was with a first ballot Hall of Famer. Offensive genius, that's his strength, was really looking forward to what he was going to do without Drew Brees. Instead, and this is the negative side of, Sean Payton and the media drinking the Kool-Aid. Man, the future quarterback's already in the building. Taysom Hill, really? Okay, that is proven to be entirely incorrect. Not even close. And Sean Payton knew this. And the local sports media shouldn't have been embracing it, which they all did. I don't know if there was one member outside, and I'm not even a local sports media member, but I was calling BS on this from day one for just simple reasons. There's about 8 great quarterbacks in the NFL, like a Burrow Mahomes level. There's about a dozen more that you can win with. That means about a dozen teams don't have a winning quarterback. Like a dozen teams in the NFL are looking for a true starter that you can win with. Now, personally, I think Andy Dalton's like 18th, 19th, 20th, somewhere in there. Jameis Winston, when healthy, could be like 18th, 19th, 20th, somewhere in there. Jameis Winston has the potential, maybe with the right coach, right situation, staying healthy, to move into the top 15, top 12. Who knows? There's that potential. Dalton's already there. I think Dalton's already proven that. A team that has all the pieces, you have Andy Dalton playing, you could win a Super Bowl. Other teams have won Super Bowls with all the pieces with a lesser quarterback than Andy Dalton. But there's a good 10, 12 teams that don't have even an Andy Dalton or a Jameis Winston. Have no chance of winning because of that, quarterback void. And Taysom Hill's a top 20 NFL quarterback. Just insane coming out of the coach's mouth. Insane the local media drinking that Kool-Aid. No, that's the biggest bummer about Sean Payton leaving. Left the Saints in a lurch, no quarterback, didn't get to see him doing it post-Drew Brees, that kind of thing. But I think a win-win-win today. Sean Payton's in the rearview mirror. All that talk of coming back to the Saints was nonsense because he didn't leave because of the Saints or burnout or needed a break. He left for personal reasons exclusively. Was never coming back to New Orleans. He goes to the AFC, not an NFC team. All the Sean Payton Saints talk is in the rear view mirror. The Saints can move on. He was never coming back. Fans should have moved on. Media should have moved on a long time ago. Sean Payton of Denver. Saints get Denver's first round pick, 29th overall in this year's draft. They get Denver's second round selection next year. No, a win-win-win. AFC, rear view mirror. Great news. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. You on the causeway right now? You want the number to Trey Yen? Get a big to-go order. Celebrate. You know that area code on the North Shore, 985. The phone number to Trey Yen, 626-4476. You're on the Causeway right now or on the North Shore, dial it up. 626-4476. Everybody's happy with a large to-go order from Trey Yen. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. 626-4476. Curbside delivery. You don't even leave the car. Trey Yen in Mandeville.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
If you are a loved one or suffering from Parkinson's disease, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
People started coming to us and asking for help for things other than addiction. We have a Parkinson's patient here. He comes in once a month and gets his little booster because that's what you have to do. In 2 hours after he started, his tremors in his hands stopped. So he said, Paula, your major marketing challenge is that it's too good to be true. But it's true. It truly is true. We can't say that all of these things have a cure, but these things happen and they're real.
Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
Make the call, 504-291-4000, 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center, springfieldwellnesscenter.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, hey, what can I do to give you a hand? And he said, well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place. So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
An oldie but a goodie. I'm glad you plugged that in there, Jason. I miss that old Bourbon Street spot. Very accurate. The toilet of New Orleans. Let's reimagine that bad boy. Like Mardi Gras, let's get rid of the Chinese throws. Ban any throws from China. They're not our friend. Plus, it's just a bunch of plastic crap. Garbage. And I'm not doing some like, hey, let's make it a green Mardi Gras, but the lanyap, the gravy is, it would be a green Mardi Gras. Let's throw things, quality over quantity, things we actually want. I love those stainless steel tumblers that Rex has been tossing the last few years. I like getting hot pot pads or mittens for holding, hot pots and plates and stuff in the kitchen. Wooden spoons, spatulas, colanders, anything that you can use that you'll keep, that you won't go throw away or let it roll into a storm drain, I mean, the Mardi Gras throws, the plastic trinkets, garbage, trash, making a few Chinese gentlemen millionaires. And the local, suppliers, they'll sell the new stuff. They won't miss a beat. They'll sell the new stuff. Hey, Mom, it's 5:58. I'm on the air for 2 more minutes. What are you doing calling me? Maybe I should put her on the air. Let's do that. Hey, Mom, I'm on the air right now. What are you doing calling me?
Well, I thought you got off at 6 o'clock.
I did. It's 5:58. I'm live on the air and television right now.
Okay, call me. Bye.
All right. There's my mommy. Oh, boy. Geesh. 92 years old. What's that, blue boy? Sharp as a tack, you bet. Physically healthy, thank goodness. Still drives. You're right on the money, blue boy. That was my mommy. Hey, New Orleans, see you tomorrow. Ralph Marlboro will join us to break down the Sean Payton deal.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.